Hi, I'm Ruth Kenner, and I'm speaking from my studio as usual. I quilted more, and I've been kind of sick for the last week, or really sick. I had a bad cold, so I'm going to discuss something a little different about how we organize our space so we get more done, because I'm really into project management and applying it to myself. And I've had a lot of problems. And in addition to me not feeling good, the last week or the few days before, I spent too much time looking for things in my studio. And it's not the first time it's happened. I've had a schedule that every other week or just about every other week, I make a big pile of stuff and I start going through it. I also moved my studio around quite a bit, so it's kind of like moving house. And I thought that I would share with you a few insights that I've had, because I really hate wasting time looking for something. And I'll start today with rulers. And this is something that started about a year ago. I realized that I had a big pile of rulers, and I love specialty rulers. I just love them. And I love the way we have all these rulers that do other things. But it gets to the point where I couldn't find something. So I'll give you an example. This is a really good ruler, okay? And I use it all the time. And I also had a ruler with the lip on it for doing 1/4 inch seams. I love that. I'm not saying you shouldn't have it. I'm just saying that for me, it was just an example. I couldn't find the one with a lip, and I couldn't find this one. And I ended up doing something like preparing these. This is an unfinished quilt. You've seen it around. I'll eventually have the raw edges covered up. But doing these triangles with a great big unnecessary ruler. And I realized that something has to give. So I went through all my rulers, and I started putting rulers that were specialty rulers in another room, not in my office space, just an extra room, and making a pile of them and seeing if I needed them often or what I can do without. So first I put this one in there and a few others, and I found I kept on going back for this. And then I tried the one with the lip, and I found it worked really well with it. I still miss it, and maybe eventually I'll replace it, because I did give it to Goodwill. But I found that I had to get rid of the pile and go through it, even at the expense of getting rid of things and getting them back in the future. So I kept this one, and I went through my big ones. Now, I had I think it was a 12.5 inch one, and I found that this really big one that I have works well, because well enough for the 12.5 for right now. Plus it was cracked, so it was very easy for me to get rid of it. Excuse me. So, and these big ones I use a lot. So I have two big ones like this, and I don't hardly use this one, but sometimes on my bigger quilts, you know how it is when we're measuring up a side, sometimes it's very convenient to put this one and that one by it and make sure that it's really straight. So for right now, I decided to keep these, but I hardly ever use these. These go in my office. This one, hardly ever use. This one, specialty ruler, hardly ever use. I use it when I'm doing art quilts and basic simple quilts. Hardly ever use it. For right now, I'm keeping it though. I had a pile of rulers that I literally got rid of. The only one that I do miss, I have to admit, is the one with the lip. And that one, most likely the 1/4 inch one. That one might come back. These ones I tried using. These I use a lot for sampler quilts, that I love doing sampler quilts. So I found that I missed these. So I kept them. And this is one, a diamond one. I really love it. Hardly ever use it. And this is a new one. I'm going to be making lots of baby quilts with it. These smaller ones will go in a drawer, and I get them out. That leaves me with basic quilts. Basic ones, 9-inch one, great for making little squares. A longer one, one here and one here. There you go. The other thing that I did, I made a change. I have something like this. This will probably go in a drawer. I haven't got everything ready for a drawer. I've ordered things to make my drawers more manageable. That left me with two. The other thing I learned the hard way, that's how my big 12.5 inch one broke. If you put things like this and you think you're saving space, when it falls, this one didn't break, but my 12.5 inch one actually cracked. when it fell over. That was a problem. You have to lay them like this. This is the way it works. And the other thing I learned is, besides laying them like this, filling them up until there's no space is such a big hassle to get them out. So I reorganized, I cleaned out, and even I threw out, I gave to Goodwill quite a few rulers. And like I said, the only one I'm sorry about is the one with the lip. And eventually I'll get it. It was worth it. It was worth it because I finally felt like I was getting something done. Now, I decided I would apply that principle to other things. And I went forward from there, and I've been cleaning up. But the last week, I found myself looking for something all the time. And it's been an ongoing problem. My purple thing. I love my purple thing. I thought of buying another one, but then I would just have them all over the place. I'm always looking for it. It's a constant thing. I'm looking for it and looking for it. I can't seem to find it. So I discovered there's a little hole in it that the manufacturer says it's good for putting in a ribbon. I've had this thing for years and I didn't figure that out. Put on the ribbon, and besides always having it on, when I drop it, I find it. This one, the last time, it dropped and fell in between some books. When I was going to the books, I found it. What a waste of time. How frustrating. I am for making things work. If I had a job and a project manager and I was working for and somebody like me was working for them, they'd be fired. I work so badly. It's got to stop. I'm supposed to enjoy myself. So there was this other big mistake I made over something I never lose. Never. I made this big mistake, and come on over here with the camera. So this is a few things that I know that I work on with my sewing machine. So I have, before I got the 770, pick that up, I have these wonderful parts, and made by So Very Smooth. I'll look it up and see if I can put it down below. I just love it. It's a seam gauge, I think it's pronounced. And these I would put on the side here, and I still use them because this only does a certain amount of space. So when I lost the screw for this, which was an extremely frustrating thing to lose, believe me, it was, I couldn't use these either because I didn't have the sticky stuff on it. So I'm going to replace the sticky stuff, and it's one of the things that I shouldn't have had happen. But what was the big thing that I lost? I lost the screw to this. This is something that gauges how far away to make a seam. You could do 5/8 inches, or you could do it really up close. It makes a really big difference. I really love it. It came with my machine. It came with a 97D foot, but you could buy it on your own. If you don't need the 97D foot, I would recommend getting the 97D foot if you've got a machine that works that way, or getting the other ones. But what happened, and this could apply for any part, I am very good about not losing things like this. And I took it off and I put it aside right here, or I thought I did, and all three pieces to go in a plastic bag. But our sewing machines, at least the Berninas do, they come, and this could happen to anybody, with little screws on the back of every foot. And these are really useful because they're more gauges that you can use for making things, measuring how far away the seam is. Very useful. I really like them. But they come with them, and I usually take them off, but if they don't, they fall off. Sometimes when I'm blogging, I see that someone will say, what happened? A screw just fell off. Where did it come from? And I'm always the one who says it came from your foot. Don't panic. So what happened? It must have come off. I go to clean up my stuff because I'm really good about this stuff. And that stuck. What happened to this screw, the right screw, I don't know how it got to where it did. So it fell off, and I put it all away in this little bag, and thinking that everything was okay. And then I went and I decided that it was time to do a thorough cleaning. I swept up, went with this, checked everywhere, and then vacuumed up. and the trash came, they took away my mess, and then I went, sat down, couldn't find, opened it up and realized the wrong screw was there. I ordered the new one. It's $3.99, still hasn't come in from the dealer. It's going to take a while. Not that many people buy little tiny screws, it turns out. When I was cleaning up and I was sure it was gone, I found it. I found it behind somewhere. What a mess. I picked it up and I realized that it doesn't pick up. Look at that. It doesn't pick up. And that was the mistake I made. So I wasted so much time looking for it. And now I have it. And what we should do is check our accessories. Make sure that when something doesn't pick up with a magnet, that it's got more aluminum in it, that we know that. When we take it off, I have a special bag. Get a little bag ready right there and stick it right in. Don't wait around. Don't put it on the side. Keep the bag out, even if it doesn't look that nice. I also bought a new container that doesn't have holes in it, so I could put it in there if I don't have that much time. Don't let things mess you up that badly. It really messed me up and really angered me because I actually had a problem over something that I don't have a problem with. So this screw will go in there and it'll go with my other pile of a lot of screws. And I hope this helps. We waste so much time getting organized. The other thing I did to myself, I was like, why am I sabotaging my life? I decided that I would sew on, these are the ribbons. You can see right now, if you get close up, you can see that I'm doing one ribbon at a time. I decided to save time. I would do this, the binding, and this all together. I looked at it, it looked terrible. So this time I had to take it all off because I wanted to save time. Yeah, and this time I'm doing it piece by piece and I'm checking it. And there's one place I still have to undo, another place I've undone where I'm moving it aside and I'm fixing it so it looks like an excellent piece. Even though it's a piece that I wanted to learn and practice new things on, it doesn't mean that I want it to look like junk. And that's what I did. I decided that trying to save time doesn't work. And of course I have my 1/4 inch attachment or my little gauge right there. So that's about it. I hope next week that I'm going to talk about fracturing blocks, a special way I have of sewing up blocks, and I'll talk more about it and actually teach something that I've been doing for years, and I've got a few tricks in line, and but still talk about project management. I just want to close and I say I hope that you really subscribe if you like my channel and you leave comments. And I'd especially like to hear about comments about challenges that you have in your studio, if it's losing things or trying to save time and actually making it yourself spend more time. And also, if you solved it, share it with us, because I think that just as important as our wonderful designs and our beautiful efforts and picking out things is how our work process develops. Because not only it makes it more enjoyable, walking around and looking for something is just ridiculous. So have a great week, and for those of you who are watching it right away, happy Valentine's Day. See you. Bye.